Akashic reading for healing hands. Okay, so go ahead and start with my crystals as usual. That's a good starting point. So I have my Shattuckite here. I already have a guide coming up. This feels very angelic. Also possibly extraterrestrial as well, feels like. And I do have a number of crystals here that represent some higher frequencies coming in. So this is a clairvoyant stone. It's also good for grounding, and it's a healer stone as well. And it's also just good for general like perception, like clear sight. But I have my selenite wand here, and this is the white crystals. They're also good for purification. So they don't only represent higher energies, they also represent things like cord cutting and releasing negative energies. And so with that Archangel Michael connection that you had, this makes sense that I would be drawn to pull this one out. Oh, and also my other wand here, my crystal quartz wand. I forgot what this was for a second. So I have two wands here, and I am feeling that again, like a cord cutting type of thing. But I also get a feeling of like cord cutting for other people, and almost being certified in that, or something to do with that. Even when I first read your email, actually, and now I'm being reminded of this because it's similar, and I'm looking at your questions over here. Yeah, you're asking about your mission in one of the questions, and tips how to accomplish that. But I was just getting this feeling of almost like being certified in something like cord cutting, or even I get the word hypnosis, or just, it doesn't have to be one of those exact things, but like something spiritual and something alternative that helps people as far as healing them, as far as their health, because this is where a lot of your gifts lie. And since you are a human angel, a lot of human angels have healing abilities, and a lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time, their mission pertains to delving into that in some way. Their mission pertains to putting that frequency out, which is a frequency of helping others to heal in some way, uplifting others, encouraging others, or helping them remove negative energies. And when you think about this specific angel that you have that keeps coming to you, this angel, Archangel Michael, is specifically what he helps with is removing negative energies, removing programmings, thought forms, or demons, in other words, and just negative energies within a person or surrounding a person. So he helps clear situations, he helps clear homes, he helps clear people of patterns, and he can help heal people physically as well, because obviously that is an accumulation of negative energy and negative beliefs and programmings that would cause someone to be physically ill as well. So a lot of the angels have this healing ability where they can be in service to others and heal others. And I also have empathic abilities coming in, And this very much goes along with healing, because if you can empathically feel someone, then you can help them a lot more to heal and recover with a trauma or a physical ailment or whatever it is, because you can listen to them. But also what's coming in is not only this specific angel that you have, but also this thing that recently happened with your mom that we did a reading about. So, and how you were helping to heal her. And in some ways, it is like a physical thing, even if it doesn't seem like that. Still, it is affecting her physically with pains and sleep, or at least it was more intensely. I know she is improving now, but so, and also, but she also had all this panic, and that was a lot of the reason that she was experiencing these physical symptoms. So it was both a physical thing, but it's also like a psychological thing. So even in this way, they're saying that this kind of shows you what your path is, or what you're designed to do, and what you're naturally doing. You are naturally the one who sort of, came to her aid and said, okay, let me send you energy, let me help to heal you, and let's fix this. Let's heal this alternatively. So just what you naturally do, what naturally arises, kind of shows you what you're meant to be doing here, and it gives you a sense of your purpose and also of who you are and your divine frequency. And when you look up human angel, I haven't looked this up in a long time, but there was once when I ended up seeing something about human angels, or maybe I looked it up purposefully, I'm not sure, but I remember I saw something on a website that was speaking about human angels, and with human angels it was even saying that sometimes they can have addictive habits, especially I would say in some of the older, more indigo type vibration human angels. But for some of the younger ones, I would say that is even less. But with you, that's not really so much what I pick up on. I'm not really picking up on like a lot of addictive habits and stuff, but it's more this energy that you can let go of those habits. You can let go of those habits in yourself, and you can help others let go of them. So it's more of a helping to remove them type of energy versus you're stuck in them and you have to deal with them or come out of them. And the reason that a lot of human angels would have this type of issue is because of the fact that they're coming from such a high vibrational place, and then they kind of get bombarded here in this one and have to deal with different negative almost desires that arise and that they are not used to, and so they can almost become overwhelmed by it or bombarded by it. But in your case, like I said, I feel like it's more of healing psychological programmings, healing psychological issues, and completely removing it is what Archangel Michael is saying. Now, I also have Archangel Raphael coming up. So this is specifically a healing energy. Now he's sending me animals also. He heals people, but he also heals animals and pets and just nature in general. He definitely has a connection with the natural world, with nature, animals, Mother Earth, even the elements, sky, water, wind. Yeah, he's naming the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water. And then he gives me this feeling of the number 4, the number 4 in general. And this is a very grounding number of 4. It is a grounding number, and it can also be a traditional number. It has to do with your foundation, with with building a foundation. It has to do with trust, harmony, so cooperation. So almost bringing people together, foundation of people, almost like a tribe type of energy. Or a family, especially a family structure, something cohesive, something that has a foundation. But he's giving me the feeling that this can also mean just about your own self and your own energy. And he's saying what you need to be finding now, coming into like a concrete, solid way of being where you feel structured, you feel grounded, you feel supported, and you feel a sense of direction and structure. So he's saying, so look at your abilities, look at the things that your life is directing. Excuse me. Look at the things that your life is directing as far as where you're moving naturally. And like he was saying, or like Archangel Michael was saying, what naturally arises. Okay, I've got somebody female coming up too now. So this is the third guide I have coming up. Again, this feels very angelic. You know, it's weird, but all of your angels are coming in with very standard names. Like a lot of times it'll be an angelic feeling guide, but they won't give me a standard name. They'll give me some other name that isn't some standard angel, but she's coming in with Gabriel. And often Gabriel is actually shown as a female angel. Maybe there's more than one Gabriel, you know. There could even be more than one Archangel Michael. I've heard things like that. But regardless, she is female and she's calling herself Gabriel. Okay, but then I have another one coming up. Okay, so then I have another one coming up with Ariel. And this is another female angel. Oh my God. So we have a 4 here going on too. So you have 4 coming up here again. So you have 2 male angels coming up. You have 2, archangels. So you have 2 male archangels coming up. You have 2 female archangels coming up. And so there is sort of this foundation, like what he is talking about. Okay, so you have 4 guides around you. They're saying no more, no less. At this point anyway. So there might be like master guides that end up coming up later on, but it's like, so they're not excluding the fact that you have any other guides by saying no more, no less, but almost like focus on these 4 energies, and these are your main influences right now, specifically, and it's to guide you with increasing this sense of finding your purpose and having this foundation, which the number 4 almost secures. So a secure feeling of a foundation. So just like Raphael had to do with, he also has to do with healing animals. Gabriel also has to do with okay, she was sending me the word wife for a second, and but then she's explaining it almost like this energy of nurturing, supporting, caretaking kind of energy, because one of the things that Gabriel also helps with is children and healing children, or even guiding children. But she's saying in general, a nurturing, empathic kind of gift is what she has, what she works with in order to heal others and to help to nurture others, even nurture the gifts in others and almost provide balance and like a sense, she's saying home, almost like a sense of home. And a sense of like they've found themselves, or they found their place, or their way, or they fit in. So there's also kind of a group energy coming from her, and building like a team, or like a cohesive group, or again, it's coming in family unit. So Archangel Michael is most focused on removing negative energy, and healing in that way, cord cutting, breaking people free of programmings. Whereas Raphael is more focused on healing in general, and also specifically physical healing is good to call on him for as well. And then you have Gabriel coming in with this more empathic type of energy, which is a kind of more providing comfort, nourishment, empathy, and surrounding people in this type of energy, which can almost even help again with psychological issues, with an abuse, a trauma, or just helping a person to feel secure. So releasing a fear even. Ariel, Ariel, on the other hand, a lot of times she'll come in like a lion as well, and she has this energy, almost like a Sekhmet kind of energy with her, like a roaring lion. So even though she's female, there is like a distinctly kind of male energy from her, but at the same time, it's a powerfully feminine energy also. It's almost like a mother bear, like a mother's type of protection. So there's like a fierce kind of energy with her, and also a gentle energy with her. And what I feel from her is more like a leading quality, and sort of a harmonizing energy, again bringing balance. And she's sort of balancing, in a sense, this Gabriel type of energy. Actually, even Raphael and Archangel Michael are kind of balancing one another, because Archangel Raphael brings in this very healing, soothing, peaceful type of energy. Archangel Michael kind of gets in there and bashes through negativity and programming. So even there, you have this kind of, with the two males, kind of a more feminine, kind of more masculine type of energy. And even with Archangel Michael, you have this kind of divine authority. And Archangel Raphael also has divine authority, but at the same time, there's this energy of allowing others. So there really is this balance, putting out, receiving, and then with the two female energies as well. You have Gabriel, who's talking about, being a wife and a mother, and sending this empathic kind of nurturing type of energy. And she's not necessarily talking about you being a wife or a mother or something. She's more speaking about career. That's what she's talking about, not that she'll never be a wife or a mother, just that is what she's specifically speaking about in this area. That's the area that they are speaking about. Okay, so, but then, yeah, from Ariel, there is a more male feminine energy. And she is I almost get a sense almost like she is the leader in a sense. And that's the vibration that she's sending to you. And that's the vibration that she sends to this group and would send to a group. And that's almost the vibration that she wants to pull out of you. So this divine authority is a quality of angels also, and of human angels, or it can be. Definitely angels and archangels have this. Human angels can sometimes feel very unworthy and have issues with taking up their authority. And she's saying, in your case, you almost in a sense feel kind of blasé or kind of normal, even though you're not normal at all, but ordinary. That's really the word. In a sense, you feel extraordinary. You know, you're into a lot of weird things. You don't really fit in and all that type of thing. But at the same time, you sort of downplay yourself and your abilities. And she's saying that you almost think that that is like a good thing. And she says it is good to be humble, and it is good not to be arrogant, and not good and good to not look down upon others. But at the same time, she's saying that you're not ordinary, and she's saying to really come into your own. You have to accept your power and your presence that you're here to bring, and your abilities. So you need to own them. Like, you need to own the fact that you're a healer, you know. Like you said, she's reminding me, like you said in one of your emails, you were sending healing energies to your mom, and you were almost doubting that they were working. And so when you hadn't told me about that, and then they showed me a picture of you standing behind her, sending her energy, and that was how you were standing, what you were doing. That confirmed to you, oh, okay, I am actually doing something with this. This is actually working. They're actually confirming that I am actually doing something real. I am actually attacking the issue. They're putting it in that way, or the root of the issue. I am actually helping to heal whatever this stems out of. So again, the root of this issue. So I am actually healing this. I am actually bringing comfort. I am actually sending an energy that is doing something that's affecting her. That's affecting my mom. So she's saying that this was a confirmation, but she's saying that that means that you have to look at it and you have to say, I am doing something, which means that you are powerful. And she's saying that this is just a confidence that naturally arises when you know who you are. It is not really about, she's saying it's not about honing your abilities, it's about allowing them to surface and naturally bubble up. She's saying that you have this naturally, and you won't really need anyone to teach you. She's saying it just more has to be brought out of you, and part of the way to bring it out of you is to realize who you are and your divine nature. Okay, so let's get into some of the past lives now. Water. Grab my intensonite here. This is one of the other crystals that I pulled, representing a higher energy or an angelic type of frequency, and purification as well. Okay, on the one hand, I'm looking at your questions, and you are asking about lives that you've had on other planets or planes, if there are any. Okay. Um, Meaning that's something that you said. You said if there are any. So, and that's something that needs to be pointed out. This if there are any. So even though even though here again, the first reading you got, even though it confirmed things that you hadn't even asked about, and so obviously this human angel thing. So obviously this human angel thing was, in the same way that this other thing confirmed something to you that I was not aware of. And so your guides were speaking to you during that reading. In that same way, they're saying, so if it came through during that same reading that you're a human angel, and then you looked it up and you resonated with it, and these other things had come through during the reading that your guides could have known about, but I couldn't have known about, then they're saying that this clearly is a confirmation that you are a human angel. This means that you had to have had past lives on other planets, or at least other planes of existence. But it's weird because you're asking, about going deeper into these lives, especially lives you had on other planets or planes, if there are any. But when I'm attempting to go into the lifetimes, when they want to start going into the lifetimes, there's this block, and they send me this energy of a block. And here again, it has to do with almost this feeling. I don't know how aware of this you are consciously, and you are asking about the lifetimes, but there is this block there. Yeah, this psychological issue there that's pertaining to worth and mostly your importance or being ordinary. And you can't really have had these lifetimes, if you are ordinary, or if you're just not important. And basically she's saying everyone is important and everyone has their area. And it's not a bad thing to feel that you are here for an important reason. You have your area. You are important and you have your important area. So what you're meant to do here is important. And she's saying, especially as a star seed and a human angel, especially coming in with this specific mission pertaining to those energies and those lifetimes that you've had. Because she's saying that while other people are learning things, and that's important, not to say that people that are not, from somewhere else come in with a mission. There are a lot of old souls and even young souls come in with missions to do. And but not all of them. Some of them are more coming in with, they might have a little mission, they might have a small mission, but they're coming in for more for learning purposes than this mission that they need to do. And they're kind of figuring out how to be here on Earth and how to operate here. And then when you have an older soul, they'll come in with these specific missions that they want to do to help other younger souls. So she's saying it has nothing to do with levels of importance, like one is more important than the other. It's just what you have to do here is specific, and it's a specific important thing. Yes, when people are coming in to primarily learn, that is important. That is important for them. She's saying that what is important when it comes to having a divine mission, when it comes to coming in with a certain thing to help others, is that it's not only learning for yourself, which will affect others, but it's like when you have a mission, it's like you're there primarily to help others in that way with that mission. And so you will just affect more people, or there is more responsibility because you've learned more, you've leveled up, and you have more responsibility. And she's saying that doesn't make you less important or more important. There isn't a hierarchy, but it just means that what you have to do here is special. What you have to do here is important. And she's saying, and you need to be in agreement with that. If they're going to get to these past lives, which they want to do. Okay. So I know you're not seeing this right now, but we're sort of sending that to you energetically. So let's try and look at these lives again. Otherwise, I might have to make this an Akashic / aura clearing and try and remove that a little bit. Okay, so first there's these there's almost these passages of a couple of things that I've channeled or that I've read popping in my head. That's not really important, but I'll go ahead and say what they are. So first, I was seeing this mountain they were showing me, and I'm hearing this this quote from Jesus where he says, "And you'll say to this mountain, move, and it will be lifted up and cast into the sea." And then I'm hearing this sentence from one of my channelings, which just says, "No limitation is real." And then I get this feeling, and this is Archangel Michael talking. He stepped up behind me. Okay, I do have a female angel here as well. But then I have the others here and here. So I have all four of them, but Archangel Michael did specifically step up here. Him and one female angel are both right here. So we'll just say this is a group thing. They're all speaking about this lifetime. But basically, Archangel Michael is starting. He's basically saying with this that he's popping in my head. He's attempting to say, you came from this vibration, from this plane where there aren't any limitations. And he's saying that everyone does in a sense, but you realized it. Like, almost like this is an incarnation that you are having. So it's not just like people, they leave here, they're in spirit. And in your spirit body, you have no limitations just because that's how your spirit body naturally is. But he's saying, no, this is like incarnations that you were having. This is a lifetime that you had. This is a plane where you come from. So it's not a plane that you go to in your spirit body like when you die. This is your origin. This is what you come out of, and what your soul primarily goes through to learn. Where your soul is primarily learning, where it's primarily choosing to be, is this other plane, not here on earth. That's just what it is chosen to learn through. So he's saying that some people, yeah, he's saying ultimately, like you're gonna experience both, even if it's just you go to spirit and you experience no limitations. He's saying you're going to experience both. You're going to have some planes ultimately where you see both, you learn from both. You learn from having perceived limitations or blocks, and then you experience what you are naturally, which is having no limitations, no blocks. And he's saying that people learn in different ways. So some people, it's a balance equally of both. Limitations, blocks, limitations, blocks. Some people primarily have lifetime after lifetime where it's just a lot of blocks, or a place that sort of bombards you with a lot of blocks. And he's saying almost like good on them, because this is very difficult. This is a difficult route. It's difficult to learn through. He's saying, but you, on the other hand, decided to learn in this other way, this other fashion, where you are experiencing primarily lifetimes where you do not perceive boundaries or limitations for yourself. And this is basically everybody that you're around, the whole race or community that you are around, is in alignment with that as well. So there's also nobody around you saying to you, you can't do that, or there's a limitation here, 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 or there is this boundary. And he's saying, even if you're having a physical experience, like meaning like a solid experience where you appear solid, which he's saying, which you do. He's saying to yourself, you appear solid. The people that you're interacting with, they are solid to you. They look solid to you. So it's not like, one angel is going to handshake another angel, and but he can't because his hand is going to pass through. They are physical in this way. They are solid to one another. They can hug, and they're not going to pass through one another. Even if they might pass through us because of how high of a vibration they're on. They're on a very different frequency, and he is saying that it is, in a sense, physical. It is physical. It is physical, but it is not dense. It's not densely physical, but they still appear solid to one another. They still have lives. They still have missions. They still have things that they are doing. And also people that they are interacting with, not just, people that they are helping, like serving humanity and things like this. He's saying that they do have lives. They do have experiences. So he's saying that that's one thing that they're going to have to almost clear up out of the way as well before they can get into lifetimes that you've had as an angel or an archangel as well. He's saying that's something that has to be almost addressed before they can move on as well. But he's saying, but they're already giving you some sense of your lifetimes where you've been and such. So they are addressing it already. It's just that there's some things that they have to clear before they can get into details pertaining to the lifetimes. Okay, so that was primarily Archangel Michael talking. Okay, so now I'm feeling Ariel kind kind of stepping up a bit more. She was already standing here, but she's just stepping in a little bit more. She's giving me a sense that you were a female angel in one of these incarnations. Okay, now she's giving me a sense that in this case you were on the Pleiades. Okay, so some of the Pleiadian, a lot of times when I'm connecting to a Pleiadian, they'll say they're on the angelic frequency, and sometimes I'll almost confuse it with an angel. Sometimes it will actually feel angelic, and then they'll say that they are Pleiadian. They do feel slightly different to me. Like you can have angelic being types from different places, so a Pleiadian is going to feel a little bit different. But they are saying that there is a plane, there is like an angelic almost realm. So it isn't always necessarily associated with a certain group like Pleiades or this or that. So they're saying that there are angels, archangels, you know, and it just happens to be a race on its own, in its own plane, its own angelic plane of existence. But she's saying, but in this case, you're experiencing that same frequency on a planet, on another planet. So in another realm, but you're experiencing this same type of frequency. And she's saying this, you know, she's kind of clarifying the same type of thing Archangel Michael was saying for a bit. She's just clarifying, you know, in this lifetime, you were a person. You were a Pleiadian person. You had a house. She's saying you were a mother. You had children. So you were a person living on a planet, but you happen to be on this limitless frequency. So she's saying in this lifetime, it's not that you were not experiencing certain things that you could not relate to now, as in some things that human beings actually do or can relate to, that they can understand the concept of. Yeah, we have kids, we have houses, we have communities. She's saying a big part of the difference, other than the fact that they're not experiencing limitations. So, you know, they can do telekinesis, you know, they can communicate with thoughts, they can travel at the speed of thought. And a lot of these, you know, just these mundane, like we have to take medications to heal ourselves and these different things. But she's saying that they don't have these mental blocks or technological blocks either. Because she's saying that they're also very advanced technologically, but she says that that came from their mind opening up and expanding. So she's saying, you know, and this is something that the Council for the Assistance to Earth teaches as well. A lot of people think that the Pleiadians were just always this, you know, high angelic race and all of this. But they did learn, like any other race, you know, it's a race, it's a civilization. It did learn. So she's saying one of the difference really between you're on a planet like Earth, for instance. Like if we were, when we raise out of all of this and we are limitless, you know, we could be perceived by another culture as an angelic type of limitless being. We could come to them with that frequency, but it doesn't mean that we started off that way, that we didn't learn things. So this is a race that did learn things, and so their technologies also advanced more and more over time, and they became more and more developed in their understanding of their technology and also their mental power over their bodies, and to influence corrupt things to become extremely positive, extremely positive. So she's saying it does not mean that they never experienced any form of negativity to get to the high vibration that they are on, or that they didn't learn something as a race. They advance over time. Got some, one of your guides flashing in your picture over there. Okay, that's Archangel Michael. So yeah, so one of the differences between like having a lifetime on an angelic frequency, and so you are angelic because you're on that frequency, and what it's really about is just experiencing this limitless nature. But the difference is that it's like you come from this plane where it's there naturally, where they didn't have to learn it. So they don't have to raise themselves over time. And there's no perceived limit of time. And they are just naturally there. Now, there again, she's saying that doesn't mean that they have no negativity ever that they see, or that they attempt to heal and project over, and in a sense go through themselves, like Archangel Michael. You know, he's healing, he's running around healing negative this and negative that for people. You know, so he is experiencing and overcoming negative things. So she's saying that this is a way that you learn. So she's saying it doesn't mean the exclusion of negativity, or that they're perfect by any means. Perfection meaning not that they aren't perfect in a sense everyone is created perfectly, but in the sense that they have no negativity within themselves or outside of themselves that they overcome, or that they can see. And the thing is, she's saying, and again, this is what the Council for the Assistance to Earth teaches, if you can see it on the outside of you, it has to be within you to some degree. Even if it's a very, very, very small degree, there has to be something negative there. Otherwise, you'd be in a dimension where you would not even be able to help someone with their negativity, because you would not be able to perceive it at all. But she's saying, but you would also not be learning. She's saying this is what negativity is for. She's saying you need to be learning. It's something to learn through. And so she's saying, so it's not a negative thing always. Like, She's saying, yes, it can be negative, meaning that it cannot serve you. So there can be some negative things that do not serve you. But in this sense, when Archangel Michael is healing people of their negativity, this is an activity that serves him. So in that way, negativity is serving him, and he is seeing it, he's learning through it, and this is the incarnational experience that he has chosen to have and to walk through and navigate and learn in the way of helping others. So she's saying he's constantly helping others see their own negativity. So naturally, he is very clear of his own negativity. So she's not saying he has a lot of negativity or something. Like she said, it can be a very, 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 very small degree, but she's just simply saying, if it's in you, that's why you're able to perceive it. That's why you can see it outside of you. It has to be reflecting you in some way. So she's saying that since we're able to interact with humanity, this means that humanity matches us, humanity reflects us, or we reflect humanity to a we reflect them a little, but enough. Negatively, in other words, they reflect them a little, but enough to interact with them, enough to engage with them. So they have to be able to perceive negativity. So if they didn't keep a little bit of negativity, if they didn't have negativity to some even inkling of a degree, then how can they continue to help Earth, to help humanity, and to help other dimensions as well, which are experiencing higher degrees of negativity if they didn't have it within them a little bit? So she's saying, so it's their choice to keep that and to navigate that. So she's saying that perfection in this way would be boring. It would be dull. And you need something to grow through, to learn something. It's a challenge you're experiencing. And she's saying that everybody experiences negativity to some degree at some point in their incarnation. And this is something that helps them grow. And she's saying that this is why we as a collective, and she means everything. She means like not just here, humanity. She means like the all that is, all of us, everything, everyone, collectively. This is why we, as the all that is, this is why we created negativity. This is why we wanted this experience. It's why it came into existence, why it came into being. And it isn't real, but it's an illusion of lack, like Wolf always says, like he teaches in his videos. It's this illusion of lack, comprised of things you're perceiving to be missing. So she's saying that limitations are not real, but you perceive them as real here. And she's saying that when you get that, you can help others with their own negativity and with removing it. And she's saying that that is a big part of the reason that you are primarily here. Okay, so this makes sense now, what she's saying, because I was already kind of feeling this, but she's giving me this sense that she is bringing this leading quality, and she wants you to be aware of that. This is Ariel talking. So she's bringing this leading quality, and in a sense, she does bring that to the group and this leadership and this direction to the group. But at the same time, I keep feeling that Archangel Michael is more your main guide. He's more the main one guiding you. So in that sense, he's kind of leading. Now, I still get the sense, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, they're leading in their area, So it's not that they are not leading, and all four of these are your primary guides, but you usually will have one or two that is especially leading, usually one that is sort of leading the most, in the sense that they are almost your top guide. They're your main guide, assisting you through everything. Or in a sense, directing the others. And that is just because they are your main guide. But at the same time, she brings this cohesive quality to the group, and this leadership and this understanding and communication, she's saying. And just this almost attitude of authority. She knows herself, she understands herself, her place, etc. And it is sort of these two guides that are sort of leading. So you do have this female leading and this male leading, but it's just Archangel Michael, he tends to feel like still your most primary guide, even though they all feel like primary guides. And there is this 4, coming in. So they're all kind of equally your primary guides, but at the same time, Archangel Michael sticks out to me as sort of the main one at the same time. But, work with them all. Work with all of them. Because all of their energies are equally around you and helping you. And they all pertain to your mission in some way and are helping you with accomplishing that. But one thing they're saying is, what are you most attracted to when it comes to alternative health? And they're not trying to block you or something through this reading or say that you have to go down that path, although they're saying that it is suggested and you have to do what you feel. But they're simply suggesting that you look into that. Look into that route, see if you resonate with it. And they seem to think that you will. They're saying, especially with this thing happening with your mom, that this is clearly what is opening up for you. Okay. All right, so I have Raphael coming up. Now he's showing me this picture. He's giving this, for instance, about negativity again. He's showing me this picture, and it's basically this almost barren, like Earth, or perhaps another planet. No, it feels like Earth, like this barren Earth, and almost like something is happening to it. Something's wrong with it naturally. and almost this sense that he can hear it. He can hear the earth and how the earth feels, what the earth is going through. And he can empathically feel that. I get this, and so he's strongly stating he is capable of, feeling like someone else's negative emotion, and he is capable of understanding it and having empathy for it, and so almost sympathizing with that, or wanting to comfort that. So almost he can relate to that feeling, and that's the thing. If they can't relate to our negativity at all, if they can't relate or understand or have compassion for our negative emotions, then how can they help? So he is capable of understanding that feeling and even holding that feeling, but he's also capable of releasing it, letting go of it. And he understands that he is simply empathically picking up on something and observing it, and at the same time relating to it, so it can feel like his for a moment, and then he is capable of releasing it. But he's saying this doesn't mean that he never feels that. This is why he can sympathize. This is why he can heal. This is why he can bring healing, why he can bring comfort. Why he can sympathize and empathize with another. Because of his empathy, he can sympathize. And Gabriel is saying, and feel compassion. So she's saying, if you've never been a being that has experienced negativity, if you don't know what that feels like, if you can't understand that, then she's saying you really can't help another pull out of their negativity, because you won't relate to it, And she's saying, like, you would be so detached from it that there wouldn't be a desire to help. She's saying that if you were a little curious about it, it would almost be like looking at some new technology or something, like what is that? Almost like it would kind of surprise you or make you curious. You would wonder what it is because you haven't experienced it. But until you understand it and can relate to it, you can't remove it, you can't pull it out of someone else. So she's saying it's because of your compassion for your mom, the fact that you have experienced a similar emotion, and everyone on earth has experienced fear, and everyone on earth has experienced, negative vibrations. She's saying coming towards them from others. Everyone has picked up on things from outside of them that they found overwhelming, which she's also saying is really a big part of what your mom is doing. But she says they didn't really want to get into that in the other reading, because that would mean explaining empathy, explaining these spiritual concepts to your mom, and they weren't really ready to do that. And they weren't really ready to introduce who her guides are either. Just to say that she does have them. So they didn't really want to get into that, but you can know that, and you might even be able to introduce that to her a little bit and help her almost set a boundary in that way. And almost even go through the list, who could she be, picking up on? It might not even be, a specific person. It could be like a group of people. It could be an environment that's causing it, for instance. But she's saying, but either way, it is something empathic. That is how it started. But she's saying, but when you don't, she's saying it's not completely empathic, but she's saying that a little of it was, and this increases something. It's like when you can't let go of it. When you can't let go of something, it can increase negativity in you. So this is Raphael again. So you have to be able to let go of what you're feeling from others. He's saying that that's important also. To empathize so that you can sympathize, but then let go of whatever you've picked up on from, whomever you are healing. If you're listening to them, or you're just, taking negativity out of them, like you're energetically assisting them, you're assisting them through speaking to them, listening to them. He's saying that you can't absorb that, and so you have to learn techniques that sort of let that go. To let those energies go so that they don't accumulate and you end up with a problem yourself. So he's saying that healers have to take time to heal themselves and also to learn to block energies that could come towards them from the people that they are healing, from the people that they are working on. In whatever way they work on them. It could be with your hands, like healing hands. It could be, psychological. It could be hypnosis, like they said, acupuncture, whatever. It could be. I feel like it would be more, I'm just telling you what I feel. I feel like it would be more of a psychological type of healing versus necessarily acupuncture. Now, at the same time, I get from them, that could be part of your path. You have to go with whatever you're drawn to in the moment and think about, whatever area you would want to explore with alternative health. So she's saying that there's an area that you would want to explore it and look into that. But she is saying that it needs to be aligned with you spiritually. That is like their one condition to it. It does mean to be aligned with you spiritually. Okay, so that is all that your guides have to say. So they're saying that they are bringing this sense of grounding to you. And that's sort of their mission with you right now as your guides. That's the thing that they most want to encourage you with and bring to you for your unfoldment, is this sense of who you are and a foundation with knowing who you are and your presence. And then understanding more and more, little by little, what your purpose exactly is, where you want to go with the abilities that you have in service to others and yourself, in alignment with your desires and something that benefits you, that you enjoy. So it's not taking from yourself to help others. It's not depleting yourself. It has to be something in alignment with you, in alignment with your joy. That's when you know it's in alignment with who you are and with your path, is when you are following your own bliss. And she's saying that when, Ariel is saying that when, hold on. Well, I have Gabriel here too. So they're all kind of here. Um, but, okay, but Ariel is saying that, what was she saying? Right, okay. But now I have Gabriel coming up, so I'm going to say that this is from Gabriel, especially as well. All right, so when you're doing this, though, this type of healing, whatever form you choose, whatever form you resonate with, they're just saying that you are going to feel fulfillment and a sense of peace when you know that you are helping others. Like that's a big part of it. And they're saying for a human angel, that especially for a human angel really brings them a lot of satisfaction and fulfillment, is to know that they are not only chosen in that way to help others, but also that they do have the ability to affect others in that way, and they do bring healing and comfort to others, and that in turn comforts and heals them. And this helps them continue with their work, since it is pulling negativity out of other people, and seeing negativity and working with negativity. So you have to be in alignment, and grounded, and have your own foundation in order to continuously help others with negative problems that they're having. But one of the male angels, not sure which one, Raphael, okay, but he's saying that as far as skill, though, that's not really needed. That's not required. You have that naturally, and intuitively, you're just going to know how to speak to people, or like if it's acupuncture, you're going to know where to stick the needle, whatever. And it wouldn't all be medical, it would be an intuition. You would know what to do. So they're saying, certainly there might be some things that you would need to be certified in, but at the same time, it's a skill, it's a talent, and it's a skill that will just be harnessed naturally. And I'll also say quickly here, a skill is something that you have developed. A talent is something that you're naturally born with, whereas a skill that you have means that you have developed it. So if they're calling it a skill, and I know that you haven't really developed it in this lifetime, then that would mean that in past lifetimes, which makes a lot of sense, you developed your ability to heal others, and also you just had it naturally there because of the plane that you were on, and so you didn't really have to develop it in that way. So even there, they're saying it was like a skill that was acquired naturally, since they don't have this illusion of time there and having to develop something over time. That's a tool that we learned from in other dimensions, including this one. Okay, so that is really all that they have to say. And thank you very much, Healing Hands, for allowing me once again to do another reading for you. Thank you very much. Namaste.